Hello, welcome to the next episode of my podcast, Pivot with PJ. This is your host, and I have Shubhashri Pathasarthi with me today. How do you see, as art forms, how do you see them different?
I think there was a lot of opening in the mind, in I don't know, the subtle body or something. So at one point, what happened was Kalaripayat started inspiring my music practice, and music practice in turn was feeding my Kalari training as well.
So, is this a Shubha thing, or is it something that every practitioner is able to get?
Initially, I had confusions of, oh, am I a musician or am I a Kalaripayat artist or what am I claiming to be? As a person, you'll have a lot of things to express. And now, as an artist, I have two tools.
I'm PJ, and I'm here to navigate the bends of the roads with you. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get on this ride together on Pivot with PJ.
So, it helps you form deeper connection with your being.
Yes.
Um, is it just with your being, or has it also helped you make and form deeper connections with the outside world, with the
In,
environment, with other people?
Interestingly, actually, yes, initially I think my connection was immediately towards nature, the surroundings, not the human level. I think the more sensorial level, which growing up as a city girl, I missed out on a lot. And this was a great time catching up with all the lost non connections. And over the years, I think I'm able to subtly connect with people whom even I don't, vibe along with. Because I think the practice has made me more compassionate towards any person that I meet. Earlier on, I used to be like super judgmental about a lot of things, like somebody who's not a Brahmin or somebody who's not a heteronormative sexuality or somebody who's an IT person. I would judge that person. I was that person. So now I think I'm able to connect with any of any people, any person that comes or interacts with me. I'm able to connect with them because in class, what we do, as I was telling you, in class, what we do is we repeat a lot of stances and a lot of kicks and postures we do daily. And even though we are used to all those postures, I think over the years the body changes, your teacher changes, or if you even have the fortune of having the same teacher for a long time, he or she picks up certain things that change the practice. So every small thing that journeys with you through the practice, I think makes you more compassionate. So that also reflects in your daily life, and you are naturally able to sense or connect with the other.
So, is this a Shubha thing, or is it something that every practitioner is able to get? Because, see, one of the things I'm sensing is the ability to feel and see those nuances. So, is it something that comes naturally to you, and that's why you're able to uh, develop that compassion? Or
I think so. I've had this discussion with a couple of fellow practitioners, and we've had similar kind of what to say encounters, of course, at different levels. So it's hard for me to say if it is because I am like this, I am able to, feel the nuances or. But I'm one thing is sure that when you are intimate with your teacher and when you're intimate with a space, I think you become more trusting. Okay, because growing up in a city, trust was like something that was like a, you can say, a taboo. Because
it
in
was
Mumbai
scarce.
it was, yeah, it was also scary to trust people in Mumbai.
Mm.
For example, we have a small space for ourselves and you have to fight for that space and you have to sometimes trick people. You have to earn your space. That is a different way of living. And when suddenly you are in a practice where it's, the moment you start giving to the practice, it's giving you doubly and triply. I think it's very contrasting. So I think because the practice also gives you a lot, I think as a community we all sort of respond to each other and even in general. So I think it's a practitioner's thing.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So you can safely say that, if anybody practices and gets intimate to the art form and the space and gives
Yes.
themselves in fully to the moment, they can feel it.
Oh, yes.
And therefore the compassion
Yes.
emerges out of them
Yes.
naturally, organically,
Yes.
is what you think.
I think all the traditional forms, even like farming, you're a community when you do farming. You're a community when you build a space, performing art space, and there are a lot of times when you have to trust each other. There are a lot of times when you make mistakes, and there are a lot of times when you are amazing in what you do. So I think this feeding off each other's energies is very important in this time and age where we are so, you know, in in a so-called focused path where you want to achieve things academically and professionally and socially, also a house, a car, whatever. But you miss out on so many things that you can get or give from each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for someone who has been training in Carnatic music, which is, if I may say, more traditional, in a more I don't know if conservative is the right word, but let me just say it that way. And it's also somewhat of an exclusive
Yes,
art form. I mean, it would have been a different way of looking at art.
totally.
And was it? Can I say it would have been liberating also
Oh,
to you
yes.
in some ways?
I was the outsider
Right.
in a practice like Kalaripayat. I'm a woman and Kalaripayat, lot of boys. But now it's changing. Everything is like so many women I can see practicing, coming more than men who come practice daily. So for me, the so called upper class woman who shouldn't, do martial arts. Even for me, for my parents, even now, they are a little bit hesitant if I identify myself as a Kalari practitioner or a Kalari teacher. They are not very comfortable in. But they also took some time to accept me. So coming from that space to this space was, I think I was yearning to come to this space, and so both the spaces are, sort of empowering each other in me.
Amazing. How contrasting was it for you? Just like, in a way, the whole world of Carnatic music is exclusive. In some form, some way, it's also um, protective of
Yes,
the tribe and all of
yes,
that. Did you feel that in Kalari, the tribe
yes,
of Kalari also?
yes,
Were you
yes.
accepted right away, or did it take effort to build the trust and
So yes, of course, there were a lot of students who used to come, and they would say that, oh, I am giving my time and my also money to come and learn here. But Lakshmanji would really see through you. He would see if you're really truly, able to dedicate yourself, your time, your effort, your energy, everything. I think any art form, apart from the fact that you belong to a certain caste or something, if the teacher or the school is open to seeing you for what you really are, I think I've faced that in both, even in my Carnatic circle, even in Kalaripai. Both of them have their own, boundaries. But once the teacher feels that you're ready and you're true to the practice, then I think at that point those boundaries are just lifted
in both?
in both, actually. I would say, I think Carnatic, being a more classical form, is a little bit more hesitant, and usually also look down upon people who do not belong to the circle. But at some point, transition also happens there.
Hmm.
For example, one of my regular students is a Christian from Buffalo, and she was referred to by my teacher, who is a so-called conservative. So those changes are slowly happening. For example, Samantha asked me, "Can you teach me this Ave Maria in Tamil?" So for me, I thought I'm very, I'm an open person and all that. If I was feeling challenged there, it was out of my comfort zone. But then we went along, we shared couple of YouTube videos, and we are learning that right now.
Nice.
So I think it's very, very important for artists and teachers to, be open to this sharing, where the other person is true and not chumma, not coming for time pass, or for branding. For
Right.
example, there is one student who called me yesterday saying she learned coloring from me 2 years back, and she said, now I'm auditioning for movies. Can we do a reel together? I'm like, okay, you come for class regularly for 2 months.
Hmm.
Then, if I feel ready for a reel, we can go about it. So I think even such an encounter of situation shouldn't be, tada and closed. You should be open.
Right.